much money that now I'm my own doctor in my own home. The most I would do is do my bloods and then take care of it myself. But it's so bad that I got a bulletin from SEIU. That was our hospital. 1199. That was our hospital building. I got a bulletin that said that all the retirees, because I'm retired, they said if all the retirees decide to come back to work, we will waiver the restrictions, because when you work in that union and you retire, they give you only 20 hours a week, I think it is, which is also tyranny. Like, I already retired, I put in 12 years. Why are you telling me what I can do with my retirement? That's another form, and I digress. But the reason why, at the bottom it says, the reason why we're doing this is because we have a medical crisis. Do you think they advertise that? I know that because they send it to my house because they want me to go back to work. You can give me $1 billion. I would never go back to work. Okay, first of all, I'll be putting my life in jeopardy. Okay, but that's how bad it is. And that's why we need these candidates. I mean, Miss Marilyn Miller, I mean, she's been so supportive to our cause. She's been so supportive about the issues, the crime rate. I mean, right now I can go to your house and burn it to a crisp. They catch me, I go to jail, I have an appointment to see the judge, and then the judge calls me and gives me an appointment to see him another time. This is the way it is, and the criminals know the bail reform better than the citizens do. Because the citizens like, what's going on? Like, what's going on? What's going on is that they change all the rules. Yep. And these are your politicians that are making these, because they want chaos, because they want us to depend on them. That's the whole thing. It's total control. So I like to remind people that I'm not voting, I'm not running for anything. I'm just a regular citizen, but I just want to encourage you. These are the citizens that did this. It wasn't, we can't wait for the politicians. This is it. We have a small window. This is it. So we got to get behind candidates that are for human rights, for protecting our children. They're after our children, like there's no tomorrow. The rate of birth is so declined in our, I remember the 50s, they had like 50 kids running around, and the father worked and the mother was home with all the kids and the kids in the neighborhood and the schools, and they stripped that. There's mothers that give birth today, they have to go back to work tomorrow. That's what's so unhealthy. But this is all done by design. So I want to leave you with, please, volunteer. If you can't pray for us, volunteer, donate. There's a petition on the website if you can sign that. We all have talents. We can't stay home because this is it. This is, this is.
To get to save this country.
We have to. This is it. We can't wait for no politician. Most of the politicians don't want me to speak. I have a few, like Danny Mail in Central Queens, Belrose, Republican Club, they allowed me, Metropolitan in Manhattan. We did a presentation in Coney Island, one in Belrose. There's one, if you look at the page, the last page, there's a more, because I'm not a data analyst. I can't answer those questions. I keep towards the back end of all this. My job is to make sure that all the citizens know what's going on. But there will be a brief presentation with more details, and you can ask a lot of questions with the inside of the databases and the software and the algorithms. I'm just beginning to learn all that. That's just not my expertise. But right now, the most powerful agencies is the Board of Elections. If I go to NYPD and say, listen, I just found a box, because it happened to one of the candidates I was working with. They found a box of ballots, like, I don't know, a week later, and they went to NYPD and said, oh, that's a Board of Election problem. Okay? We go to the GOP, silence. The sheriffs, I can't find a sheriff in the city. I called, we have 50, either 52 or 58, I can't find any of them. My city council is always taking pictures with them, and I can't get through to them, okay? I can't even be seen in that club. And that's okay, because it's all gonna come out. And the other one is the Board of Elections. They're the most powerful diabolical agency that we have. They are very powerful. And they're so powerful, they want to get rid of charter schools that were doing so well. And the kids, the Hispanics, they were at nationwide levels, okay? And they try to get rid of that. They had a hard time. You know why? Because the people went out. The children went out. It broke my heart when I saw those kids, all of them, with their little raincoats. It was raining hard. All those, a sea of little raincoats fighting for their charter schools. That's an abomination, okay?
Board of Education?
Yes. They fought Moskowitz. I don't know her first name. They fought her tooth and nail. Yes. Yes, they fought her tooth and nail because she was being so effective. And their reading scores were at level with the nation. Not with New York, with the nation. So this is what they do. Anything that's good, they want to destroy it. So, I don't know if
yeah, we could. Also, I had a question. You could give us some of this information. You're on Facebook?
No, actually, I'm on True Social. I'm on
Okay.
Trump's True Social.
All right, but I would like to have this information put up because we're on Facebook only right
Okay,
now.
well, the website is Audit New York.com.
Okay, and you'll just give me a paper at the end.
Yes, it's at the corner. Sorry, it's so tiny, but
That's all right.
I have a whole booklet for you.
Oh, good.
So
We'll upload that on our Facebook page, our Twitter page, and whatever other social media that we have to get this information out there. Also, in regards to voter rolls, as a district leader, I have to come around and get signatures every year, which is very annoying.
which is a false.
Yes, I mean, I feel like I'm in the 19th century knocking on doors.
That's another form of voter interference.
Right, so I other states do it differently. They do, where you buy a bond, I think, where you put up a certain amount of money so you can get on the ballot, whatever, how they do it, as opposed to running around in the streets like a psychopath in the winter time or whatever, knocking on people's doors, thinking you're the 1970s full of brush man. Okay, hey, Avon's calling, and could you sign my petition, please? But
And you know how many times they've heard that?
Yeah.
I'm so sick of it.
oh yeah, so it's very annoying, and the thing is, we're dealing with lists, like you said, that are so backwards. Now, I have a guy on my block who passed away many years ago in Brazil in a car accident. But yet he's still on the rolls. No matter how much times they say, get him off. Well, what they do is they send it every now and then to homes. If they don't get a mail back stating this person don't live here, then they keep him on forever. I said, and the other way to get him off is with a death certificate. Well, I don't have his death certificate.
No, even if you did, it doesn't matter.
Right. And they stay on forever.
And then that's thousands.
Right.
Thousands. And then it gets to, I know, does anybody know Judicial Watch?
Yeah.
Judicial Watch had a show on Rumble and said they investigated New York. In 4 years, he did a tally of 4 years, and he did sue New York. He only got like 400 and something off the voter rolls, 44,000 or something. But he said from his investigation, in the past 4 years, there were supposed to be 5.6 million people that are removed in 4 years. So, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news,
Well, the biggest registrants are here a couple blocks down to our left, or to the right on the camera. Greenwood Cemetery.
Okay, yes.
A lot of people
Those
are
are your
registered.
voters.
They've been there since, it started since 1838, so a lot of people are in there. They're voting very good, and they all vote Democrat somehow.
Right.
So, but you know, good for them. At least they have activities in the afterlife.
Well, I'm almost...
You have a question right there?
Oh,
Yeah, you were great.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
I'm pissed. I'm pissed. It's not right. I'm pissed off. It's not right.
No, I love it. I feel this. You were just like repeating like people, like the closet cases here. But how how do we get this out? First, someone asked me, can you get a list of the people who are running for council council, whatever year, and
That's the
but
man.
people need to know who, you know, nobody knows who's running.
If you go to candidate vote in New York City,
Candidate,
you can find all the candidates, and you can also donate to their campaign. And yeah.
Well, I can't afford anything, but what do we do here? Like I was
Well, you can
thinking-
pray if they're not from God, that God would just totally remove them. That's more powerful than any money you can find.
Make them be new registrants in Greenwood
What?
cemeteries.
But how do people, like what you're saying, you know, nobody knows about this. You know, I know that, like, even in Brooklyn, I'm sure the elections were rigged, and you know.
Every county, every town, every state, every borough,
It's been rigged.
it's been rigged
Okay,
somehow
but
or another.
how-
I can't tell you exactly how.
Sure, I
But,
can imagine. But how do we, someone like us, get involved? You know, I had these fantasies of trying to bring, you know, Trump here to Brooklyn. You know, you know, during World War II, they had underground resistance. So I started calling it Trump Underground Resistance. because
I love that.
We're resisting.
But I like it above ground. I wanted to see us.
Well, resistance. You know,
Yeah, I love that
during the
word.
French Resistance.
That's the only way, actually.
So we do the opposite, Trump and resistance against the corruption and I thought to organize something here in Brooklyn, resistance.
Well, this is what I tell people. I know we can go to Washington and Arizona with their voter. I think we need to start on our local election.
Yeah, that's what I want to do here. So how do I do it with other people?
That's the man. I'm from Bayside, Queens. I mean,
Yeah.
northern Flushing, borderline between Flushing and Bayside. So, to me, the only suggestion is at the bottom, get educated. At the bottom of the website, there's a website at the bottom left.
Yeah.
There's a presentation in Manhattan. You get educated because now you're going to tell someone else. And you can, this is what I do, to be honest with you. I'm a
Yeah.
big believer in my Creator. What I do is I wake up and say, God, what do you want me to do today? Because if you're still around, it's because God wants you to do something.
Right,
And
right.
everybody has a different talent.
Right.
So I don't never think that's a problem. I think it's having the courage and tap into what do you want me to do? And I'm telling you, once you do that, you better put your seatbelt on.
Right. No, but how do we get people in Brooklyn to? I mean,
Are you in this district?
I didn't Park Slope. But
You get, start with that,
Oh,
start with the website. Arcadio is running for city council right there.
Maybe I
He's your
can-
candidate, right there.
have meetings.
We have a matching fund. You guys can help like with $10 if for a matching fund 1 to 8. It is huge help for us because I believe if we're going to do anything from bottom up,
Right.
not from top down.
Right.
Amen.
You just imagine if you leave Trump by himself on the top and all around, evil people around
You
here.
gotta meet him in the middle.
What he can do? Nothing.
You gotta meet him in the middle.
They
See how
go to kill him.
God, see how powerful God. You wanted to know what can I do, and they put the candidate right next to you.
The only way we win, guys, is you have to have a tsunami-style election to beat out whatever
Yeah, but-
corruption they're trying
have
to
to
do
make, like-
against us. You gotta get everyone out
Like
to
if I'm in
vote.
a cab, it's silly thing, like
Yes, we have a couple
Uber
questions
cab or
over there.
something, and I kid around and I say, oh, like, don't forget, become citizen and vote for Trump.
Rudy, you're wearing a green hat with a maple leaf on it. I assume it's Department of Parks and Recreation.
Yes,
If you're a Trump supporter, wear a Trump hat.
I'll get killed.
I only get compliments. I live in Bay Ridge, and I
Really?
only get compliments
She's
on
in
this hat.
the den of hell.
Listen, one of the things I'm a true believer that I don't tell people what to do because they pretty much, you're all adults. You've been around the corner. You've been around the block. What I want to encourage people is to do is pray to your Creator and ask for discernment of what should I do, and also just do it. I mean, this is proof. I mean, this is a big area, and he put the candidate right next to you in your area. Now you don't have an excuse. You can't say, I didn't know, what should I do,
Candidate's right there.
He's right there.
All right, from the resistance.
Any other questions?
Yeah, right in front of you.
how did the Board of Election and the charter schools, if I misunderstood?
No, what I was trying to explain how the control mechanisms where anything that is well done, they want to destroy. Like for instance, if you have a charter school that the kids 80 or 90% are going to college,
Funded.
okay, they have to come up with this money. They're not being funded by the city. And then the city schools, they're failing. They're at maybe 30% range nationwide.
They can't read.
They can't read. They don't know. They watered down the history. They don't know. They think that George Washington was a racist because that's what they're telling them.
You know,
that
our
he is.
prior meeting, we had George Washington. We had a George Washington in person.
You see?
You see, I think the Board of Election, Education chief.
Oh, okay, I misheard.
Right, that's what-
Well, they're the same way. They're the whole same animal.
As
Government.
far as how people are so uneducated about the founding fathers, so to speak, just the other day in Congress, the Debbie Wasserman Schultz called Robert Kennedy a racist.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And,
That's all they
and an
have.
anti-Semite. I mean, that's like totally
Look around
insane.
us. Look
It's
around
like
us. That's
somebody
all they
who
do
knows
is
nothing
lie.
about history or the Kennedys or anything.
Listen, you know
like
what?
complete ignorance.
They don't believe what they say.
Not that rainbow.
Okay, they don't believe what they say. You made a
None of them did?
contract.
None of them did?
You made a contract with the devil. Whatever they tell you have to do, they all have masters. They all have what they called
Handlers.
Yeah.
handlers. Okay. Stacey Abrams said that. Stacey Abrams says that all those ultrasound techs that tell you it's a fetus at the first trimester, that they're all lying to the people. She knows that's not true. But that's what the phone call she got, or the fax that she got said, well, today, you know what, you're gonna have to say this. They're like, do I have to say it? No, you will say this.
Right.
And it's so absurd that they don't even they don't believe it themselves. They have to do
I
it.
haven't even put in blackmail.
They have to do it.
Abortion, like an eighth?
Yeah, actually, New York was the spearhead on that one.
Yeah.
I think got overthrown, right?
No.
When is,
But
when is a baby a
Didn't
baby?
they,
When is that? It's really murder, whether you are for abortion or not. I think in the early stages, it's one idea, but killing a child late.
They love it.
They love it.
even after he's born, they think you can kill him.
They want to listen to what our vice president said the other day. Less population to make our children learn more, or whatever. Children, something to do with the children.
That's what's going on.
They even say it out of their own mouths. Might be a Freudian slip, but they really mean it, and that's what their real agenda was, to depopulate us.
That's right.
And they
Okay.
never lied about it. It's just that we're
They told you
good-hearted
to your face
people.
what they want you to do.
People don't think that people can be that evil. You're focusing on your children. You're focusing on your grandkids. Working, making sure that you keep your house. That you know, people don't have time for all this, and they just don't. They want to destroy everything. They really do.
Yeah, in answer to your question, before 1973, before Roe v. Wade, the AMA, the ATA, and all the major religions said that life began at conception, which is the biblical view. It's also, it's the biblical view, so therefore Judaism and Christianity still hold this, that life begins at conception.
Yeah, another question right there.
All right. Oh yeah. Did anybody hear about this? The stats that came out last month. 800,000 new disability people that have gone onto disability. And what do you think about that? I mean, it seems like the man that I heard, the statistician who told the story, who had massaged the data and figured that out from government sources.
I believe him.
He said that he believes, and could be right or wrong, that they're not going to be able to cover it up. It's like what you're
The
saying.
reason why you can't cover it up because the patients are falling out from the hospitals.
Sudden death.
They're just coming out. It's
Dying people.
it cannot sustain itself this way. We had a system in place. If you can afford your insurance, you have insurance. We can use clinics for people who can't afford, because we don't want disease to spread and everything. Okay, maybe they have to wait a little longer or whatever, but I believe it's a right for somebody, for everyone to have medical care and food